My question at Air Marshal Babura is whether this now, A, motivates the Ukrainians to fight harder, which is tough because they were already highly motivated, weakens the Russian army in a way that wouldn't have happened earlier. Their morale has been quite average because it's not as if they've been making rapid gains on the battlefield either. Air Marshal Babura, has this weakened President Putin or not? The voice from Moscow says no. Can I get Air Marshal Babura to respond to that? Yes, sir.
Yeah. You can't win a war in penny pockets. No, sorry. Your strategy has to be something that you have to cut off a whole chunk of land to be able to plan further strategies. Putin is not a strategist. Please understand. He is not a strategist. And if you're not a strategist, you can't make war. Not of the type that he has made, which unfortunately for him hasn't gone off well at all. As far as his own status is concerned, whatever little I know from my friends there is that he doesn't trust anyone. Putin doesn't trust anyone anymore. It's totally, I will do it. And this is where I personally feel he is in trouble. What kind of trouble, only time will tell, but he will be in great trouble because he will be fighting his own people.
Okay, Ajay Malhotra, you've been India's former ambassador to Moscow. Your sense of the power dynamics more from a political perspective, it seems the Russian defense minister could possibly be on the way out. That was one of Wagner's demands. There hasn't been any official confirmation so far, but that's one of the things that has been spoken about. From your understanding of the state of play in Moscow, is Putin's power indeed weakened or not?
Well, if you see, Putin has all along been handling the entire Ukraine crisis with kid gloves. He's not gone along and had this sort of devastatingly aggressive attacks. You started off with a small operation and proceeding with, as I said, with kid gloves. He may have initially looked weak in the present context, but he has quickly prevailed and sorted out the internal challenge. He's done so without major bloodshed and with the regular units and generals and the governors of the various districts on the way and the Russian opposition parties. None of them announced for Prigozhin. So it is a little, I think, off target to say that somehow a gentleman with 4,000 troops at his command at that particular moment may have had an insurrection which could have succeeded. Certainly it could have opened up the way and triggered off a dangerous internal conflict, because there are others who would like to stir and muddy the waters, given that Russia is in a war situation at the moment. But where will we progress from here? And you ask about Shoigu. You know, if you see Putin's dismissals, and here I don't agree with the previous speaker, he has been very careful in keeping on those who have been loyal to him. And Shoigu, if he removes him, he will sideline him gracefully. He has shown 3 decades loyalty. They are friends of long standing. He used to be in charge of the Emircom earlier. He's from Tuva. They are very, very close buddies. And he rarely abandons them. He will get another sinecure. If you see, there's nobody really in a power position whom Putin on sidelining has abandoned. You can see even the people in power. Foreign Minister Lavrov has been there for donkey's years, NSA. Patrushin has also been there for a very long time. Even Medvedev, when he had to switch from away from being president, has been given a sinecure, and I think the same will happen up here. There are certainly rumors, and that could be a part of the package that was agreed, by which Prigozhin agreed to go to Belarus. But let me up here point out, if he had not gone, unfortunately there would have been blood in the streets, maybe in Rostov, perhaps approaching Moscow. I don't think it would have reached Moscow. You have in the governor in Tula a very effective old aide of President Putin, Alexei Dumin. He's been the governor for a long time. He used to be the security in charge and aide to Vladimir Putin before, and was in charge of military special operation forces, which annexed Crimea in 2014. And if you see from the visuals, you had some of the Chechen forces arriving there, Ramzan Kadyrov's men, and occupying the bridge, and this is all shown through visuals. So a few trucks moving up and down, I didn't think would have amounted to much. And with nobody coming out in his favor, I think...
No, but what did you make of the reactions of the people on the way who were cheering the Wagner forces, coming out wanting to get selfies? It almost as if it seemed for that while they were marching towards Moscow that people wanted Wagner to win and for Putin to lose, or at least those who were seen in all these videos and photos.
It depends which videos you're seeing. There's a lot of disinformation and misinformation being spread by both sides. And certainly the West, certainly by the Russians to project their viewpoint. But no, nothing of the kind. Did any of them join them? They pose for photos and for, it'll more for photo ops, etc. Even in Rostov, if you see. So that is a bit of an exaggeration to say people said, well done. That well done might be for the previous very competent performance of the Wagner forces. And if you look at the situation on the Ukraine front, the Ukrainians couldn't take any advantage of the 2 days that they had to try and hit it. In fact, the Russian forces continued to defend, and the counter-offensive has got nowhere so far. That could change, but at the moment, I think the Russians, in their defensive posture, are very much in command. So with Putin back in position, much depends on what else happens now. And certainly there are Western intelligence and other groupings involved in trying to take advantage of the situation, and it is a war situation. Russia against NATO, I agree with assessments that are put out there. It's not merely Russia against Ukraine. That war finished a long time ago. So let's see where that develops.